Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Coach Andres with coachingwithandres.com. And ladies, thank you for tuning in. Let's get right to it. We're talking about red flags. People love to talk about red flags. It's a very trendy topic. And today I have a past video that I want you to check out about 3 specific red flags I want you to go look at. But this one, we're going to do a quick 6 examples of a red flag of someone who's selfish, controlling, manipulative, unhealthy, basically. These are quick 6 examples where I've heard and seen and read and coached scenarios where women might get confused with this initial action on this. Basically, they see it as an attractive flag, and then basically the paint wears out and they see how red it is. And they're like, my goodness, that's really who he is. This other situation, this other portrayal was fake. It was a manipulation. It was a mirage. Now it's red. It's bright. I don't like it. It's unhealthy. What's going on? Number 1, they don't want to hear stories of your past that doesn't include them. They don't care. They don't want to hear stories of your childhood, stories of your past relationships, nothing to a point that doesn't include them. But it sounds very obvious. Like, why would you still want to be with someone who's just that selfish? But the idea is in this red flag, this person might make it about them in a charming way. Oh, you don't have to tell me about that. I know if I was there, it would have been better. You know, if the situation was different and you saw me earlier, I would have helped you with that. I would have fixed that. They cut you off to a point where they don't even want to hear about where the story leads into it because they want to provide some level of safety, security, solution to the situation. So they don't want to hear the full story because they want to be the hero. They want to provide the safety, security, solution. So that's where it's tricky because you're like thinking, wow, this is very protective. This is very nice. I'm dating someone bodyguard over here. I appreciate this. Wow, I'm the Kevin Costner to my bodyguard. So sweet, so protective. He loves me. But you don't notice the fact that he's cutting you off as this solution security guy because he doesn't want to hear about it. He doesn't care. It's confusing to you at first because it sounds flattering. It sounds like some level of security, some level of, wow, protecting. But he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's not in the story. He wasn't there. He doesn't care. So he cuts you off, and again, in a flattering way of creating some illusion of, I got you. I'll take care of you. You want to hear your partner's stories. You want to hear how they grew up, how they dated, what they learned. Otherwise, you're trying to date someone for different reasons. That's why it's a red flag. It's one thing I can tell in funny scenarios with certain clients where if they're married or in a long relationship, it's the same stories to a point where now you can make jokes about it. Okay. But in the very beginning, if the guy doesn't want to hear about anything about you that doesn't include them, but they add some level of cutoff, interruption because they're just not interested, it's a red flag. It's pretty selfish. Number 2 would be they don't like it when you hang out with your friends. They think every friend is a bad influence. The obvious one, the most common one I've heard. Oh, you're hanging out with Rachel again? Oh, yeah, the single one? Yeah, I don't know about that. Really? How about just hang out with me instead? So he's only okay. It's one thing not okay with being, he's not okay with you hanging out with any of your friends. That's just, why would you even put up with that? Unfortunately, I've heard a lot of stories where women have, and they lost themselves and lost those friendships. But that's something more of the common situation. The unique one I've seen now through more and more coaching sessions, the guy doesn't trust the single friend, the party girl, the wild one. And you have to look at it this. I can see and understand that guy's point of view. She likes to party. I'd rather you hang out with married women or mothers in a sense of when you socialize. I get that. It makes sense. Obviously not to an extreme level of partying where like, you know what I mean? We're not going there. But I'm just like typical going out, a happy hour, evening out, going out dancing, something typical. but they're insecure about the single girl because they're insecure thinking. And this is the stem of it. This is the root of the problem. If you think her influence is going to influence your girlfriend, your wife, your lover, to make her do something to jeopardize the relationship she has with you, the friend is not the problem. The friend is not the problem. There's something between you and her that hasn't been established, trusted, something that hasn't been secured, something that hasn't been taking the time to learn about each other. So the excuse is the friend. But if you think the friend, the single friend, is going to influence your girl that you're dating, the girl you want to get exclusive with, your love, in a bad way, then the question's about her. Why is she so weak and being influenced like that? It's something different. Why have you put her in this position? What did you do to put her in this position? There's something deeper than that, than just the friend. I get where you want your girl to be in a safe environment. I get that, of course. But that's something I've noticed. I have a lot of my clients in the situation. Yeah, they only like it when I hang out with other, married women. But when I hang out with my two single friends, they're just, I'm like, well, does he trust you? Yes. Are they good friends to you? Yes. They're loyal to you? Yes. They respect you, that you are in a relationship with him? Yes. Then he doesn't have to worry about it. Because if your character is easily that defined or influenced that quickly on something like that, then we have a bigger problem here, a bigger flag. So I always told my clients, I was like, they might be great friends to you. They might be loyal friends to you. But if they're enjoying their singlehood to a point where they don't want a relationship and you are in a relationship or you're trying to work the relationship, that's where you say, I value my friendship with her for certain things and certain things I don't. Because I know that we have different perspectives on that, and that's okay. You accept your friend for who she is. But if the influence is tested, that's something bigger. And that's something I've noticed in this situation with more of my clients in that. If the guy doesn't like her hanging out with any of her friends, gotta go. If the guy is specific about single friends, then what's the bigger question? It's not about that. That's a sense of control, a red flag. Another quick one is they get very defensive when you bring up past relationships or ex-boyfriends. Nobody really likes to hear about it. Oh, really? And how many times did you guys make love? Oh, yeah. Oh, great. You guys vacationed where? Oh, yeah. Nobody really wants to hear about it. No one's supposed to be excited about it. But you got to respect that the person was in a past relationship and they want to be in a relationship with you now. So when they get defensive, jealous, controlling, rude, cold, cut off, interrupting to a point where, yeah, all right. It's one thing if you're sharing too much about the relationship. But if it's just a conversation that kind of gets into it or a question that the person asks and they constantly get defensive on it, then you're not being realistic to the fact that, I've been with someone else. I've dated someone else. You asked, I'm answering it. It's one thing if the person is always bringing up the conversation about the ex, then I get that. There's a bigger question. But if they constantly get defensive, if there's just a natural moment or memory or conversation that leads into that, let's say the most common one, co-parenting styles. The father of their kids are always going to be involved. So if he comes up once in a while, or maybe even somewhat consistently to a point of the kid's schedule, and the guy gets constantly defensive, there's a bigger question there I think that you two need to discuss. There's healthy jealous, and then there's controlled jealous of a red flag. Number 4 is the most obvious one, but they talk badly about you, your family, and friends. I mean, about you, my goodness, why would you even be with that person? But if they talk badly about your family and friends, as in they don't deserve you, they don't get you, he's always just trying to point the finger and be a problem giver compared to a problem solver. I mean, there's no perfect family or childhood or marriage or relationship, but you know that my circle is my circle. And to a point where if you're talking badly about my circle, I mean, it's one thing if it's like a friend of a friend of a friend, whatever, I don't care. But you're talking badly about my circle. I've known them so long. I know them so well. I know where my boundary is with them. For instance, I know where my boundary is with my single girlfriends. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You don't have to talk badly about her. She's a good friend. She's just basically been hurt a lot. So the point is, if he's not getting up to a point of trying to understand your friendships, your family, and just badmouths them all the time. You got to get out of there. Number 5, they call you names. They call you names, but in a way where it's not cute. It might be somewhat sarcastic in the very beginning, but there's something along the lines of name calling that you're projecting some truth. So it's one thing if you have a relationship, you're established, and you guys have inside jokes or nicknames. Nicknames are cute. Jokes are funny. Inside jokes are great. But calling you names, don't be so bitchy. God, you're so needy, or you insecure. Man, you're always like, just calling you names to a point where, why do you think I get like that? Do you care why I'm like that? Are you pointing out the obvious, or are you curious what's going on here? To the point if they know they're calling you names, it's not playful, it's not charming, it's not little sarcastic things. There's jokes, and then there's really name calling that you don't want to be a part of. The last one is, and it's happened a lot of times with my clients, and it's so interesting because as a guy, as a man, and I always tell my clients about the situation, these women, about like how if they take care of themselves, they got a certain look, they are healthy, they're attractive, they're sexy, they're confident. And as I know firsthand, if I'm approaching a woman like that, or wow, she's attractive, I already know guys hit on her. It's obvious. So a lot of guys want an attractive woman, but necessarily can't understand what it comes with. And it's not about the woman's opening that opportunity or trying to get that attention. It's just how it's going to be. And you have to get over it quickly. Otherwise, you're going to sabotage the relationship. So the 6th red flag is these times where these guys towards, let's say, attractive women, they get mad when any guy talks to them. Why are you looking at the waiter like that? The bartender's always coming to you, not me. Oh, okay, yeah, that's how it is, huh? I went to the bathroom and I come back and you're talking to some guy at the bar. Yeah, he sat next to me and asked me a quick question. I shut it down. There's no trust on the fact that you don't think that woman's going to shut it down or reject whatever offer that person's making. Again, that's a red flag. Jealous on any situation where any man is always seeming like a threat to him, to his masculinity, to his ego, or anything. Be aware of these red flags. Be aware of them, because they can come. Some of them can be confusing towards being protective. But again, when it's overly protective, there's a lack of trust and respect. My name is Coach Andres. I'm always here to help. Leave any questions or comments below. I'd love to hear your opinions and feedback. Thank you.